I used to be a world champion in lying. My lies made my mom choose a stranger over me. Can you imagine? But before you get mad at me, please like and subscribe, then hear my side of the story. It all began when I was 7. I was sitting at the dinner table and glaring at broccoli. I hated vegetables. As soon as my mom turned away, I threw the broccoli out through the window. I was a little genius. Mommy, I ate everything. She saw my empty plate and praised me.
Good girl. Here, have some ice cream.
Wow, I even got a sweet reward. That day, I realized how useful lying could be. Ever since then, it became second nature to me. I got away with anything I wanted by lying. Until I turned 15. One day, after my 15th birthday, I went to the cinema instead of school. I wanted to watch a movie premiere before my classmates. After watching the movie, I wandered around the mall and then went back home.
How was school, Charlene?
Everything was great, Mom. I learned a lot.
Really? Now that's interesting. My friend saw you at the mall today.
Come on, Mom. She must have mistaken me for someone. Mom squinted at me suspiciously and showed me the picture her friend had sent her. Dang it, I should have been more careful.
I also found out your class didn't go on a field trip last month. You lied to me to get more pocket money. I'm so disappointed with you. And from today, I won't believe a word you say anymore.
I tried to apologize to her, but it was all in vain. She was furious. And from then on, no matter what I said, Mom never believed me. My mom provided everything I needed, but she was very strict. There were some things she didn't allow. For example, I had to either eat her steamed vegetables or miss watching my favorite show on TV. I still couldn't help but lie sometimes, since it was the only way to get things to work my way. One day, I wanted to stay at home because I hadn't prepared for my physics test. So I pretended to be sick. I used lipstick to paint spots all over my body and heated the thermometer. Classic truant tricks. Mom, I don't feel so good. I think I ate something wrong. It was probably the broccoli. My acting was Oscar-worthy. However, my mom still saw right through me.
Quit with the lie and go to school right this second. Since when has broccoli made someone sick?
It was a shame my perfect plan failed. I had no choice but to go to school. That's when I saw a new girl called Shelly sitting at my place. I asked her to move, but she just smirked at me.
Do you own this desk?
No.
Then get lost.
I didn't want to make a scene, so I didn't fight with Shelly. Soon, I realized she was rude to everyone. By the end of the day, our entire class couldn't stand her guts.
This school is a dump. I hate it here.
One day, I was on the edge because of my failed physics test and the whole thing with my mom, and I decided to take it out on the new girl and teach her some manners. So, I drew emoticons with funny captions on the door to the principal's office. Then, I stole Shelly's locker keys and left them there. The principal found the culprit on time and punished the new girl.
I didn't do anything wrong. One of you set me up.
What a shame. Who has time for this brat?
You. It must have been you.
You shouldn't have been so rude.
You'll regret it, Charlene.
I'm not afraid of you. After that incident, we fought every day, but I always came out on top. Soon after that, Mom brought a man called Mr. Jared over and said he would be living with us. She said he was the love of her life. I was shocked. This was unlike her. Ever since I was young, I've never seen my mom with any man. Mr. Jared was nice, but something about him seemed hinky to me. Imagine my horror when I found out they were planning a wedding after a month of dating. I tried to talk my mom out of it. Mom, you barely know each other. Don't marry him. I feel there's something off about him. I'm sure of it.
Why would I believe a liar like you? Don't badmouth my fiancé. It makes my blood boil.
Meanwhile, Mr. Jared was trying his best to prove he would be a good stepfather. Whenever I fought with Mom, he always took my side.
See, Charlene, we can all be friends. All I need is a chance.
Despite that, my gut was telling me he wasn't to be trusted. One day, my classmates and I decided to go to the amusement park together. I told my mom about it and asked her for money, but she thought I was lying again.
You're just going to use it to buy cosmetics, and you're too young to wear makeup.
I wanted to bang my head against the wall. Should I buy a lie detector? Would Mom believe me then? Ugh. Later, Mr. Jared suddenly came up to me and took cash out of his wallet.
Your mom is too strict with you. Take this and have fun with your friends. This will be our secret, okay?
Thanks. Just don't expect me to call you Dad or something. Soon, I met my classmates at the amusement park. To be honest, I had a lot of fun. The next day after school, I came home, and as soon as I stepped in, my mom started screaming and waving some photos in front of my face.
Charlene, I know you've been partying in a club club all night.
This was the last straw. I told her I slept like a baby all night and hadn't left my room. Mr. Jared took my side too. However, Mom didn't listen to us and showed us her proof.
Look, someone sent me these photos of you partying. Don't bother denying it. I recognize my daughter.
The weirdest thing about the photos was the face was mine, but the body and clothes weren't mine. How was that possible? It made no sense.
You've gone too far. If you don't come to your senses, you will be punished like never before.
Mom went ballistic. I'd never seen her so mad before. I tried not to do anything to set her off again. Unfortunately, it didn't work. A couple of days after that, she accused me of trampling her rose flower beds to get back at her. As proof, she showed me my earring that she found in one of the flower beds. I didn't do it. I lost my earring at school. Anyone could have put it there.
Don't expect me to believe this nonsense.
Something weird was up. I wanted to get to the bottom of it before things went from bad to worse. But before I could do that, someone sent Mom photos of me hanging out with some bikers.
Charlene, what is the meaning of this?
Mom, those photos are fake.
I'm fed up with your lies. One more stunt like that, young lady, and I will send you to a boarding school.
She stormed out and slammed the door. I helplessly clenched my fist. Mom had changed a lot since Mr. Jared came to our house. She became really mean to me and never listened to me. We grew apart and didn't bond like before. I started regretting my actions of being a pathological liar. Now, my mom trusted a stranger over me when I really cared about her. But wait, something crossed my mind. It must be Shelly's doing. She messed with the wrong girl. I went to my classmate's house, and I was surprised when I realized she was living in a bad neighborhood. Shelly always acted like a diva, so I thought she came from a rich family.
Charlene, what are you doing here?
I yelled at her and demanded she stop sending fake pictures to my mom. I expected Shelly to snap back at me, but to my surprise, she started crying like a baby.
Leave me alone! I didn't do anything! I have enough on my plate now. A scumbag tricked my mom, and we lost everything. Now we live this terrible life.
That took me by surprise. I realized that Shelly was always so rude because she was going through a lot. This made me feel sorry for her. I get it. My life is a complete mess too. Someone is trying to make my mom hate me. Besides, she wants to marry a guy she met a month ago. I showed Shelly a photo of Mr. Jared. Shelly turned white as snow.
That's him! He dated my mom and then tricked her out of money. He's a con man!
What the heck? I knew there was something wrong with him. My blood ran cold. Mom could be his next victim. I won't allow that man to take anything from my mom. She worked so hard to own all her properties since my dad left us when I was young. I said goodbye to Shelly and ran home like lightning to warn Mom. Unfortunately, she wouldn't listen to me.
That's it. I've had enough of your lies. Pack your things. You're going to a boarding school.
You're playing right into Mr. Jared's hand. He wants to get rid of me before I stop him. Take off your rose-colored glasses. My words just made Mom even more furious. She drove me to a boarding school the very next day. It was a disaster. I felt like I was in prison. I wasn't mad at my mom at all. After all, it was my fault she didn't believe me. Even the most innocent lies can destroy trust. Most of all, I was sad because there was nothing I could do to save her from Mr. Jared. One evening, I got permission to leave the boarding school. I felt so helpless, I sat down on a park bench and burst into tears. Some guy suddenly sat down next to me.
Are you all right? You look familiar, even though I'm sure we've never met.
The guy's name was Gregory. He had big, kind eyes. I told him how my stepfather framed me using fake photos.
That's why you look so familiar.
Gregory said he was great at Photoshop and recently got paid by a man called Mr. Jared and edited some photos to make it look like I was in them.
I was just doing my job. I'm sorry, I didn't know those photos would ruin someone's life. Let me help you. I feel terrible.
Before I could say anything, I got a call from Shelly.
I found out you were sent to boarding school. It's Mr. Jared's doing, isn't it? We should team up and punish him.
I cheered up after finding 2 allies at once. But now, making Mom and Mr. Jared break up wasn't enough for me. We wanted him to be punished for his crimes. So, my allies came up with a plan and got down to business. I didn't participate physically because I had to return to my boarding school, but I knew about the plan. First, Gregory used Photoshop to create photos in which my stepfather was hugging different women and left them on the porch of our house so that my mom could see them. Unfortunately, Mr. Jared found them first and hid them. However, it was all part of our plan. Mr. Jared started acting nervous and suspicious after that.
Someone is on to me. It must be that brat, Charlene.
He told Mom he thought I'd run away from the boarding school. Mom didn't believe him, but they came to the boarding school to see if I was there anyway. I came out to see them, looking like an innocent angel. school, and the principal confirmed that I had been in class all day.
Did I see a ghost?
Mom fumed, and they started to fight every day after that. This worked according to our plan, and Mom started losing interest in him. After that, Gregory wrote a fake news story about Shelley and her mom going missing and made sure that Mr. Jared read it. Mr. Jared saw the news and got scared. He looked like someone who was possessed. Later, he confessed his crimes in front of Mom. Mom was shocked. She recorded everything and later called the police. He told the cop how he tricked
এই পাগলি তো নাক বন্ধ করে চলে ফেল।
all of their possessions. He was handcuffed and locked in a cell. The next morning, Mom came to the boarding school in tears.
Oh, my baby. You were right. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. I couldn't say anything.
But I wanted Mom to trust me again. So I told her my friends and I were the ones who exposed Mr. Jared's lies. Mom, I'm sorry I lied to you so often. By the way, when I was 6, I threw the broccoli out the window. I'm really sorry. We made up and promised to always be honest with each other. Mom took me away from that creepy boarding school, and I soon came back to my old school.